Thank you. So like I shared today, we are having a quick agenda. This whole session should take no more than an hour. But again, depending on questions and answers, it could be a bit more or less. We want to review the financial aid, the DACA ruling, mental health services, and community resources. So our first presentation is going to be by Fidelia Flores. She is our financial aid specialist here on campus at Oxnard College. And I would like to invite Fidelia Flores to talk about the resources that we have available.
Good afternoon. My name is Fidelia Flores. I'm a financial aid specialist here at Oxnard College Financial Aid. And I also oversee the Dream Resource Center on campus. And I would like to share that it is important that every student to apply for financial aid, even though you are undocumented. A lot of students are not aware that they may be eligible for financial aid, and they sometimes discourage themselves from applying, not knowing that they may qualify for a type of financial aid that it can help them a lot through their educational goals. So it is very important that students ask questions and come to Oxnard College, because we are your community college and we are here to serve our community, to provide that information to our students that are not aware that financial aid is available to our undocumented student population. Next slide. As well, a lot of people don't know that they can qualify for in-state tuition. So AB 540 was passed back in 2001, and that allows our undocumented students to apply for in-state tuition. That allows them to pay the $46 per unit. And admissions and records determines every student's eligibility. So how can a student qualify for AB 540? So it is, it looks at the combination of how many years a student attended elementary, junior high, high school of 3 to 4 years. So if they meet the qualifications, then the student can, and also graduates from high school and gets a high school diploma or a GED, then the student goes to admissions and records and requests for the AB 540 affidavit that they go ahead and apply and provide their information. Once from there, admissions and records will determine their eligibility if they qualify for in-state tuition. If you have any questions, always call admissions and records. They're the ones that will be able to let you know whether you meet the qualifications of AB 540. Next slide. And when students apply, do you have the California Dream Act application slide?
Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Habla español?
Sí, tenemos el chat en español también, solamente tiene que elegir el idioma en español. Continue.
Yeah, can you go back? Sorry. So one other thing that students are not aware about the California Dream Act application, that application is available every year starting October 1st through March 2nd. March 2nd is a priority deadline, and that determines whether the student qualifies for state grants. So a state grant could be from the Cal Grant. The Cal Grant can vary from $1,672 up to $12,000 depending on the institution that the student decides to attend, whether if it's a community college, a vocational school, a UC, a Cal State, or a private university. When the student attends community college, they qualify for either Cal Grant B or Cal Grant C. And with that grant, they also get the Student Success Completion Grant that is up to $2,000 per semester. So a student can qualify up to $6,000 for the whole academic year, depending on their eligibility. And as well with those grants, it helps them pay for books and other school expenses. There's also the California College Promise Grant. And what it is if a student meets the qualifications, then their tuition gets paid. So a student will be saving almost $1,700 per year, depending on how many units a student takes. So if a student is attending community college, then they can get their tuition paid for free. So if a student doesn't qualify for the California College Promise Grant, we also have the Oxnard College Promise Grant. That is a 2-year promise that we are promising you a free education at Oxnard College. So if you don't qualify for one grant, you may qualify for a different grant. So please never discourage yourselves from applying for financial aid. As well, we might have some foster youth that are also undocumented students. They may qualify for another type of grant, which is a Chafee grant. This is it's up to $5,000 per year. And it's very important that every student applies for financial aid no matter what. So if you're a student that is currently currently taking summer classes, it's not too late to apply for the California Dream Act application. You can still apply. The 2019-2020 academic year is still available until June 30th of 2020. Oxnard College offers weekly workshops every Tuesday. We're offering them right now virtually. So if you have any questions, call the financial aid office. We'll be happy to assist you with the application. Next slide. So if you have any questions directly about your financial aid or have questions that are very personal and you would like to talk, call the number, ask for me. My name is Fidelia. I'll be happy to answer your questions. I also have listed some 3 important resources that we do have available. I'm going to share them on the chat box for you guys to have. The 10 things about the California Dream application is very important about the importance about the California Dream Act. And then also the Fund Your Future magazine has a lot of resources available and scholarships. So, and as well as Immigrants Rising website, it has a lot of resources available throughout the whole state of California. So please do your research and call Oxnard College because we are your community college and we are here to serve our community.
Thank you for that, Fidelia. So, solamente quiero recordarle a los participantes que si alguien quiere escuchar esto en español, se está traduciendo, solamente tiene que elegir el idioma abajo de donde está Zoom. Podemos interpretar en la plática en el cuarto de español, solamente hay unas cuantas personas y quiero recordar que eso está disponible. Próximamente tenemos a la abogada, up next we have immigration attorney Vanessa Frank, and she's going to talk to us about the different services, well, not the services, but the different options and the possibilities for the DACA decision after the Supreme Court makes their decision. We want students to be prepared. We want students and families to be informed. And up next, Vanessa Frank.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. You can hear me? Yes, okay. Hi, I'm attorney Vanessa Frank. My office is in downtown Ventura. My phone number is here if you need an appointment. And we'll be taking questions at the end, general questions. And then if you have particular questions, call the office and make an appointment or call the Dream Resource Center. So my task today is to run through DACA quickly. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Run through DACA very quickly. Reminding people what it is, because some people may be listening that didn't apply for DACA the first time, or maybe you have a younger brother or sister or cousin or somebody who's watching this with you, and they could be affected too. So this is not just for people who already have DACA, but also people who didn't have DACA. So what is DACA? DACA is it was a presidential executive order issued in 2012 by then President Barack Obama. And it granted people protection from unlawful presence. It stopped the clock. Sorry, there's an error there. It should be protection from deportation. You get a work permit and it stops the clock on your unlawful presence. We're really excited about unlawful presence today. But DACA protected people from deportation, it gave them a work permit, and it stops the clock on the unlawful presence. Next slide, please. Okay, so the people that could apply for DACA are people who were under the age, who had not yet turned 31 on the day that President Obama made this announcement. So it translates to anybody born on or after June 15, 1981. So if you were born after 1981, maybe you're part of the DACA generation. You have to qualify for DACA, you have to have arrived in the United States before the age of 16. And you have to show that you lived here continuously since 2007. This is because when the president announced it in 2012, they wanted people who had lived here a long time. So at that time, it was people who had lived here for 5 years. Now we're talking about people who've lived here for 13 years. So con más razón, like more is the reason to show that they have lived here a long time. You have to apply, you have to be 15 years old to apply. So put it all together, all the people who would ever qualify for DACA are people born between June of 1981 and June of 2007. And they were born in another country. They came to this country before they turned 16. They've been living in this country since June of 2007. And they completed their high school or have a GED, or they are in the process of, so if they are a 10th grader, or if they are 27 years old and want to go back and get their high school diploma or GED, that is fine. Okay, so a lot of times people get hung up because they're like, oh, I didn't do high school, I guess I can't do it. No, enroll in high school now. If you enroll in high school today or a GED program today, you will be eligible for DACA tomorrow. Okay, and it costs $495 to apply. Next slide, please. DACA was granted to people every 2 years. You would apply and it would be good for 2 years, and then you would apply to renew, and every 2 years people apply to renew. So what happened? So on September 5th, 2017, the new president, next President Trump, canceled the DACA program. He terminated the program. People at that time, he terminated it saying, if you have a DACA card in your hand and it's set to expire in the next 6 months, I'll let you go ahead and renew one last time. So people did that in the month of September. It was crazy. People filed and DACA thinking it was the last time they were ever going to renew their DACA. And then after that, that would be it. And whatever card they had in their hand, when that expired, it would be expired. So once that happened in 2017, people with DACA filed lawsuits against the president saying that he was not allowed to terminate this program, that he didn't terminate it the right way. And some of those lawsuits started to win. And what ended up happening was by about March of 2018, court orders around the country made it so that people who already had DACA could keep renewing. And that's why for the past 2.5 years, people have been renewing their DACA. Anybody who's ever had DACA has been allowed to renew it all of this time. But new people were not allowed to enter into the program. People who never had DACA before could not apply, and still to this day cannot apply to the program. And that's because of the way that the lawsuits were formed. Okay, but people who have had DACA have been renewing this whole time. So next slide, please. So the Supreme Court, so all these different lawsuits around the country happened, and some won and some lost, and the judges were making different decisions. And the way the system works in the United States is if you have different states or different judges making different decisions, who decides? And the ultimate referee is the Supreme Court of the United States, SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States. So on November 12th of 2019, this past November, just before Thanksgiving, SCOTUS heard the cases about DACA. And the questions that the lawsuits asked were not like, can everybody get their green card? Or shouldn't we have legalization? The court has to look at the very specific question that it gets asked. And the specific questions they were asked were, does the president have the authority to cancel the DACA program? And if he does have the authority, did he cancel it the right way? Okay. So those were the arguments that were presented for and against in November. And the Supreme Court has a year. Their work is divided into years, terms, and like a school year. They go to work in September, October of every year, and they listen to arguments in all kinds of cases throughout the whole year. And then they issue their decisions also throughout the whole year. As they go listening to cases, they're formulating their decisions and issuing those decisions. And there are certain days on which they issue those decisions. And those are on the calendar. You can go on the court website. But the court stops hearing cases, I guess today, May 29th, today would be the last day. This was the last week that the court hears cases in May. And then the court gives itself till the end of June to issue any decisions that they haven't, to kind of clear off the books, right? So throughout the year, they've been hearing cases and issuing decisions and hearing cases, issuing decisions. And so they heard our case in November, but they haven't issued the decision yet. And so we know that they're going to issue the decision before the end of the year. They haven't done it yet. So it's like any day now, it will be before June 30th. And right now, once we get into, throughout the year, it's a little bit more formal, like what days they issue decisions. But once we get into June, and especially with Corona, it becomes a little bit sort of like week to week. So it's sort of like your retail work schedule, like, kind of Thursday, Friday, the week before, they let you know what days next week they're going to work. So we're waiting right now to hear what day they're going to issue decisions, but we will never know in advance what day they're going to issue the DACA decision. We can't know that. Only the court knows that. But we can make educated guesses based on the days when we know that they are going to issue decisions. And for sure, we'll get a decision by June 30th. Okay. Next slide, please. So what will be the decision? So I think there are three potential outcomes, right? One possible outcome. This is, let me see, which one is this one? Okay, this is the one that this is our least favorite option. Option one is that the court decides, yep, the president had the right to terminate DACA, and he did it, and he's entitled to do that, and so we don't see a problem here. If that's the decision, then what that means is that everybody who has a DACA card in their hand will get to keep that card until it expires. And when it expires, then they will be out of DACA. And that will be the end of their protection from deportation, and it will be the end of their work permit. And anybody who didn't get into DACA before will not get into DACA ever again. That will be the end of the program. Okay, so that's option number one. That's obviously our least favorite. Next slide. Outcome number two is that the president has the authority to cancel DACA. He's the president. He can cancel it's an executive order that canceled DACA. It was an executive order that created DACA. How come one president can't cancel it? That seems fair. But he didn't do it the right way, because almost 1 million people were counting on DACA for work, for school, for a lot of things. So you can't just go in and just whoosh, take something away from almost 1 million people and not give them notice and a right to appeal and this sort of thing. So that argument seems to me the strongest. That seems like that is probably the winning argument, but we don't know. If that argument does indeed win, it means that the president had the right to terminate DACA, but he did it in the wrong way. And so if you were following the Muslim ban, that's the best example of this, where the Supreme Court said, you can ban people from coming to the country, but not the way you're doing it. Go back. And so in this situation, what they would do is say, you have the right to cancel DACA, but you didn't do it the right way. So you can cancel DACA, but not this way. And so what it means is that the cancellation of September 2017 goes out the window like it never happened. And the president has the chance to do a new cancellation. And so I don't know how long it might take him to do a new cancellation, but that time from the day of the court decision till the time he drops his different way of terminating, that window, that's our chance to review. Of course, we should have been doing that all along. And it's our chance to get new people to apply to the program. And that's what I really want to focus on today. That would be your chance to enter the DACA program. And a lot of times people are fearful, like, oh my God, this guy's crazy. I don't want to submit my documentation, my information to the president. And it's very scary. But we are advising as immigration attorneys and advocates around the country, if you have the chance to apply, please apply. It will not be harmful to you or your family. It will be the safest thing to do. Okay, so that's option number two. Option number three is, maybe, the president didn't have the right to terminate DACA. That means we win. that means he couldn't cancel it. We go back to the way we were under the Obama administration. Everybody's applying for DACA. They're renewing, they're applying, they're going on advanced parole trips. It's very exciting. That would be amazing. I think that's not very likely. And if we win, then we win and we just get to have a party. I think though today our job is not to plan parties. Our job today is to get people prepared for like what could possibly happen. What can I do to prepare myself? Okay, so that's the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So how would you find out that the decision, it'll be everywhere. For sure, the Dream Resource Center is definitely your first stop. Be watching this site, you know, the Oxnard College Dream Resource Center, their social media. You can call, that's why we have student workers, you know, anybody there. You can also follow my social media. It'll be everywhere. It'll be on Univision and Telemundo. It'll be on the New York Times. Like, it'll be all over the place. The question isn't how will I know what the decision is? The question is, are you ready for the decision? And I particularly want to talk to two groups. People who already have DACA. Look at your card right now. Is it going to expire before June of 2021? If it's going to expire in the next 12 months, you should be filing to renew today or tomorrow maybe, or Monday maybe, but like right now. And we'll have Marline talk to you about that in a minute. Okay, so please renew. If you don't have DACA, if you didn't get it before, maybe you weren't old enough before because you have to be 15, or maybe you were or you just didn't do it for whatever reason, be prepared to apply. We can't guarantee that the chance will happen, but what I don't want to see is that the chance opens up and people don't grab it. So if you hear that the president was allowed to terminate DACA, but he didn't do it the right way, so he has to go back to the drawing board and re-terminate it, that's your chance. And so get the stuff together that you need to apply. And I think, the next slide, I'm hoping. Oh, yes, well, yes. Apply. Can you go to the next, Gabby, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. Thank you. Thank you. So these are the documents that you will need. And this is where we want to make sure you are very clear because we don't want to waste time. That's why we're doing this today, is that it takes some time. To fill out the forms is not too complicated. And as I say, my law office is available. Marline will be here and talk about other resources to help you with the forms. That's the easy part. The hard part is finding $500 all of a sudden. The other hard part is getting the records that you need. So to apply for DACA, you need what I'm showing here on the slide. Your birth certificate or a photocopy is fine. Proof that you got here before you were 16. How can I prove that? School records, maybe vaccination records, you know, photographs, things like that. Proof that you've lived here. You've never left since 2007. That's 13 years of records. They from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 19, 20, that you've been here this whole time. So take time this weekend and get this stuff together. What if it were possible for you to apply on Monday, but only on Monday? What if you had one day to apply for DACA? Get your stuff together now so that if the chance happens, you are ready to go and you're not like scrambling, looking around and like calling your mom or asking your aunt or whatever. Like, you want to have your documents organized, okay? And the other thing that can really slow you down is you'll need proof that you graduated or are enrolled in high school, so enroll, or talk to your high school this coming week and see if they can mail you a copy of your transcript. And then the final thing is that court record. And that's also a little tricky because of Corona. So if you've ever had an arrest or if you've ever been charged or convicted, you need to get those criminal records organized, okay? So that's what we're recommending. Kind of get stuff ready. And as we said, we'll have these slides available so that you, or if you want to do a screenshot, to get these documents together. Gabby, can I ask you to go forward? But
Sure.
But I think maybe we'll go back. That's the forward?
Yes, this is me going back to what you've covered already.
Yeah, so that's how you'll know the decision. Next one. No, I'm sorry, the next one.
Oh, back.
Yeah, so yes, again, it's not dangerous to apply. But the other thing you can do is if you never applied for DACA before, take this time to talk with me or Marline or another immigration expert, only an immigration lawyer or an accredited rep. Don't talk to a notary. Don't talk to the person who did your cousin's papers or something. Like, no, make sure it's a lawyer or an accredited representative who works for a nonprofit organization, talk to them now about your options. And I think we're getting to the end. If you go, yeah, this is it. What do, what the question is, what do I do if DACA ends and I have a card, but it's going to expire? What do I do? What you do is set an appointment with a lawyer or an accredited representative and talk about your options. You might be able to apply for a green card. I've had clients who came to me for DACA and today they're a citizen. You might be able to apply for some other status through a family member or some other circumstance in your life. And some people, the best advice is, hey, have you ever thought about leaving the country for a year or two, and we can apply for you to come back on a different kind of visa, and you'll come back legally instead of just waiting for the DACA to expire and then just being here undocumented. Okay, so it does take a little bit of planning and forethought. And next slide, we want to be sure that, some of these are really hard questions. And there are a lot of hard emotions that go with this stuff. There's a lot of shame sometimes, or fear, anxiety, frustration. There's anger at yourself sometimes, or sometimes DACA people are angry at their families for putting them in this situation. All of those feelings are really real. And we want to talk about those a little bit today too. And so it's okay to feel those feelings. And we want to let you know that that's okay and pretty normal. And even while you're feeling those feelings, we're here to help you get together, like, what do I need? And how can I better protect myself and lay the foundation for my future? Because that's what college is for. And that's what the Dream Resource Center is for. Okay, so let us know if you have any other questions. And then let me see, I think that's my last slide. One more slide.
That's it.
That's it. So thank you very much. And we'll take some questions at the end, I think. Yes, Cap?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So thank you, Vanessa, for sharing that information. I want to remind people that if you have any questions that you would like to ask, you can ask those questions by messaging the host directly. So please make sure that you come up with those questions, because we are going to have some time at the end for questions and answers. And just as a reminder for our next speaker, we have Linda Martinez-Truax, who is our licensed mental health clinician here at Oxnard College. And she does a lot of work with our Undocu-Ally Task Force. And we just want to make sure that we take care of ourselves, regardless of the three scenarios that we just talked about. We want to make sure that we take care of ourselves so we could be fully functioning and we could achieve our greatest potential. So I would like to hand it over to Linda Martinez-Truax, who is going to talk to us about the health services.
Okay, thank you so much, Gabby. And thank you so much, Vanessa, for going over everything. My name is Linda Martinez-Truax, and I'm a licensed mental health provider at Oxnard College. I'm part of a wonderful team here in our Student Resource Center, and I want you to know that I have worked with many students who are DACA, undocumented, AB 540, who have utilized the services for the past 9 years that I have been with the college. And I know that some of the options that Vanessa brought up right now definitely provoke a lot of thought, can evoke a lot of emotions. So that's why I want to talk a little bit about what it is that we do and how the support can work for you. I know that sometimes when we hear the term mental health, we tend to look at it maybe with a negative connotation, but remember that mental health is just about dealing with questions. How do I make effective decisions? How do I have somebody listen to me that can kind of lay out different options? How do I have difficult conversations with family members? So I am located in the Student Services Building, which is right on the Oxnard College campus on the first floor, right across from financial aid. And the one good thing about sessions is they're all confidential. So if you call in, make an appointment, sessions are confidential. Nothing follows your academic file, nothing is reported to insurance agencies, nothing goes to the next campus, nothing is shared even with other departments or professors or faculty or staff. Nobody can call in and say, hey, did so-and-so reach out to you? There's no information that is shareable with anybody else. My license is with the state and I work for Oxnard College, so I work for you. So don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, I really want to stress that seeking help does not harm you in the future. And uncertainty about the future, past and current trauma, and fear of family separation create a great deal of psychological stress experienced by many, and it's common to feel a range of emotions. You know, during this time, our experiences can be worrisome as we may not know what's happening to us. We may be experiencing headaches, grief, low self-esteem, stomach issues, guilt, irritability, worry, anxiety, difficulty focusing, trouble sleeping, feeling sentimental and feeling afraid. These are all things that impact us, and these are all things that students talk about and others talk about in sessions with counselors. I am connected also with services for family members because we have to think about our children. We have to think about siblings, mom and dad, families. People are in relationships, marriages, couples. There could be other groups that students belong to as well that we want to be mindful of and also provide supports with that. But, even the strongest people experience. Sorry, I was muted on accident. Even the strongest people experience difficulties, and during times like today, because it's your life and the lives of your loved ones that you are concerned with, it's important to look into what's available. I encourage you through this time to utilize healthy coping strategies by focusing on positive behaviors that will get you closer to your goals. I encourage you to stay focused on personal goals despite the obstacles, and continue to make your education a priority. Continue to show up to class, continue to do the work. Keep in good contact with your professors and counselors. And despite the outcome, talk with your educational counselors about your options for education, because there are also many options in terms of furthering your education. Take care of yourself mentally and physically. You know, our bodies naturally respond to stressful situations. So we want to work on the ability to not work so hard so that you can feel calmer in your efforts to make decisions and feel more grounded. In counseling, you have the ability to talk, to learn how to increase mindfulness and foster a sense of safety. And we can talk about safety plans, adapting to change, decision-making strategies, and how to have hard conversations with loved ones, how to talk to our little ones, how to talk about, when the decision is made, those are going to be, regardless of the decision, we're going to have conversations. The Oxnard College Student Health Center is available to you Monday through Friday. So again, we're located in the Student Services Building. We have a wonderful staff. We have the ability to, work with you as far as your time constraints. And of course, during this time with COVID-19, there's this whole other layer of stress that is occurring. So we want to also be mindful of that as well, and showing you how to reduce stress and so on within the home and within your life. And again, we don't share status. We don't share anything with anybody. And I know I keep saying that, but it's something that very, very naturally we fear. Very naturally we fear. What if I mention this about mom or dad? What if I mention this about my sibling? But there is nothing that is shared. So we are open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, and Fridays from 9 to noon. We look forward to being there for you. And I know that asking for someone for help or to listen can be really hard, but just know that we all arrived where we are today in our goals by asking someone for help, including myself. And I welcome your interest, and I wish you all the best, and just know that we are here for you.
Thank you so much for that, Linda. I know that there's some questions coming up in the chat, so we are capturing all of those, and we will be coming back to those questions. Up next, we wanted to share a little bit not only about the financial aid resources, the immigration status of the possible DACA outcomes, but we do have two partnering organizations, IMPORTA Santa Barbara and the UFW Foundation, who have shared representatives to come and talk to us about resources in the community. So I'd like to invite Marline, to talk about the resources that they have available and open to students. There's a lot of exciting things happening. So I'm handing it over to you. Thanks.
Great. Hola, hola. Hello, my name is Marline, and I'm with IMPORTA. I hope some of you guys have heard about IMPORTA. So IMPORTA is a nonprofit organization. We provide free legal services. We're not attorneys, but we're accredited representatives, meaning we're authorized by the Department of Justice to do this work. We have 3 offices. We have our Santa Barbara office, we have a Lompoc office, and a Santa Maria office. And we do a little bit of everything. We do from consultation, DACA renewals, green card renewals, naturalizations. We encourage our permanent residents to become US citizens. We need those votes. And we also do family petitions, VAWA, U visas, the list goes on. And of course, if it's a case that we can't take, we do send them out to Vanessa Frank or any other attorney that specializes in immigration. But the biggest news is that currently with DACA, we have funding to pay the $495 renewal fee. And that is awesome. Seriously, we encourage everyone, how Vanessa was mentioning, you can renew 6 months to a year prior to your expiration date. So with that said, do it. If you gotta renew, renew. Sometimes we get calls where people don't know whether to renew. If it's more than 6 months, we highly suggest everyone to renew. Hey, you're not paying anything. $495 free, and we don't charge for our service. It's completely free. Why not do it? We used to include the passport pictures, but currently, because of the whole virus, we don't take passport pictures right now, but that's all you have to pay other than the shipping fee. Passport pictures, go to FedEx, go to CVS, and the shipping fee. But other than that, it's completely free. All you need is your work authorization, your driver's license, your social. And if you're not a returning client with us, well, we need more details like month, day, and year, when you enter the United States, port of entry, your address, phone number, just general information. It just takes a few minutes for us to get that information for you. We call you when the application's ready. Currently, because of the virus, we're not seeing in-person appointments, but we do everything through our mail slot. By mail, we have students who live in LA or went back home. We've been mailing things back and forth, emailing things. Same thing in our Lompoc, Santa Maria office. We have a little sliding door. It's doable, and we're doing it. So the only thing is that we're very, very busy. We've done tons of DACAs. That's currently what's keeping us on our toes right now, our DACA renewals. But hey, we have the money. And the thing is that we don't know how long the money's gonna last. I hope it goes until July. But we just randomly get an email and say, hey, guess what? You can only file 20 more DACAs. So it's first come, first serve. So right now, the money's there. Let's renew it. Let's renew, let's do it. I'll share, I think our phone number's there, our addresses are there, our emails are there. Just give us a call and we'll be more than happy to help, because we encourage everyone to renew.
Thank you so much, Marline. I would also like to invite our next presenter, Giselle, from the UFW.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
We hear an echo.
Okay,
Giselle,
hello?
are you possibly on 2 devices?
Okay, is it working now?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Hi, my name is Giselle. I'm here on behalf of the UFW Foundation. We are also a nonprofit organization here in Oxnard. We have offices in Fresno, Bakersfield, Salinas, and Phoenix as well. So we have remained open during this pandemic. We have been offering our services virtually and remotely through phone, through Zoom, through email. So like Marlene was saying, we also offer immigration services. So we do DACA renewals, citizenship application assistance. We do family petition, adjustment of status, individual case consultations, and all of that good stuff. We do have accredited representatives working with us as well as attorneys in our different offices and in our Oxnard office. So we do have, a good team on board helping with the whole DACA renewals. And like Vanessa was saying, if you have your DACA expiration coming up, we are encouraging everybody to go ahead and contact us and renew their DACA with us. We also have funds to cover the filing fee of $495, and our services are free. So, we don't charge for our services, and we have the funds. We don't know until when we'll have them, like Marlene said as well. So we're encouraging everybody right now to just renew. And the good thing is that people have been doing so. We've been getting a lot of DACA renewals, which is good for us and good for the community. So, like they're saying, we don't know when the decision's going to come. So we're encouraging everybody, like Vanessa said, today, tomorrow, or Monday to renew as soon as they can, because even if worst case scenario, they eliminate it, perhaps they will let those current DACAs that have been renewed to just expire out, which is good. We have the money, we have a good team. So yeah, we encourage our hours of operation are 9 through 5, Monday through Friday. Our office is closed to the public, but we have been doing everything by mail as well, mail, email. So we're encouraging everybody to do so. We're taking the necessary precautions. And yeah, so we're encouraging everybody to call our office. Our numbers here on the flyer, as you can see, it's 805-246-3867. So you can more than welcome to call us. We do everything by email, by phone, or by Zoom. So whatever works for the client is what we accommodate them.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for sharing. At this point, like I said, we covered information about financial aid. We covered about immigration, right? And the different options. And again, even if DACA were to go away, there was no DACA before, and if it does go away, we definitely want to do workshops in the future about filing for an I-10 number or different things like that. We're working closely with Vanessa's office in order to provide a lot of this. But I wanted to invite Dolores Ortiz to help us. She's been taking all of the questions and making note of them. And I want to make sure that all the questions are answered in a timely manner, recognizing that it's 4:48 p.m. So Dolores, do we have the first question ready?
Yes.
And who is it directed to?
So I have several for Vanessa, and then some of them were answered in the chat, but I think everyone, is wondering similar items. So Vanessa, does COVID affect any of this? For instance, what if someone meets all of the requirements and they were in the process of obtaining a diploma or GED, but COVID duress caused them to drop out? Is there any leeway there? Oh, Vanessa is muted.
Oh, give me one quick second, Vanessa. Let me unmute you. Ask to unmute.
Yeah, my very strong recommendation is re-enroll. You do not want to be in a position where you're hoping that they'll probably take pity on you. You don't want to be in that position. Don't do it. Re-enroll. There are GED classes that are online. I know it's hard and nobody has any money right now, but re-enroll. That's my best advice. If you were in high school or GED and you had to drop out, a month ago, re-enroll today. That won't be a problem. The problem will be not being enrolled on the day you apply for DACA. I don't think they're going to have patience for that.
Thank you. And then also, if my DACA expires in 2021, can I renew right now, even though there's a year left?
Yeah, Giselle, Marline, all together now. Yes. Renew. Renew. It's free. You can pay my office a bunch of money and pay the immigration fee of $495, or you can go to Giselle, or you can go to Marline, and they will do it for free, and they'll pay the $495 for you. I think you should still come to the Office, but free is free, and it's a wonderful service and totally great to have that money and to have those resources. Please call the UFW Foundation or IMPORTA or both, and renew your DACA immediately if it's going to expire before June of 2001, or before, I would say before like July of 2000. You know, if it's going to expire in the next 12, 13 months. Renew, because what you're doing is saying, what if the worst case happens? What if the Supreme Court rules against us? The question is, do you want your DACA to expire in June of 2021 or June of 2022? Me personally, I want my DACA to expire as late as possible.
Right, and the person is asking because another organization told them it's too early, but it's never too early, correct? We're trying to we're trying to maximize the 2 years into the future, right, at this point. And then a follow-up question for Marline and Giselle. And I know that you covered it, but just to reassure everyone, if I live in Oxnard or I live somewhere else in Ventura County, am I able to use your services at IMPORTA and UFW for the free assistance? So
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, and if they, like I said, if they live, let's say in Fresno and Bakersfield, we also have offices in those areas. So the more convenient for them, if they live somewhere else, we can go ahead and refer them to that other office and they would take care of them the same. They could also cover their filing fee. So it just depends, but we're doing everything remotely. So if they live somewhere else, they can still call our office and we could still help them.
Yes. Then Marline, can you recap the counties that you cover as well?
Yeah, so we have the Santa Barbara office, and we have one in Lompoc and Santa Maria. And also we have a few from LA, out of town, email, phone, mail, whatever works, we're open. We're here, you just need to come to us.
Okay, and so I have one.
They can come to you virtually too. I mean, I heard a birdie told me you did some DACAs for people in Orange County. So that, just like, go.
One question for Gabby, I suppose, or any of the other organizers, where can the PowerPoint or the materials be found?
So like I said, we are recording this information, and if you RSVP'd with our Dream Resource Center, we can be sure to email this out to you. However, I do know that there's a lot of students who didn't RSVP and then they just told us they wanted to participate. So you can definitely email the Dream Resource Center and we'll get this information. I believe Vanessa Frank is also going to be uploading information and worksheets she's been working on her website as well.
Yeah. And this one's for Linda. So if I'm a Moorpark College student, can I come to the Student Health Center at Oxnard College? Oh, Linda, we have to unmute you. Where'd she go? Sorry about that.
I'm asking her to unmute, so you have to accept. Linda?
Yes, there we go. Yeah, it wasn't popping up yet. Sorry about that. So we do have, as stated, you know, the Dream Resource Center on campus. Ventura College and Moorpark College also do have mental health counseling services available. However, you can contact me directly and we can definitely, you know, I'm never going to turn somebody away. And we can get you connected, either get set up with Moorpark, get set up with Ventura College, get set up with another university that maybe you're transferring to or maybe you're looking at, but also even connecting, like if you need assistance that has to do with like K through 12 for a young one, to get you connected with services as well. So I'd be happy to support you in any way that I can in getting you connected, but our whole district is here to support you.
Thank you for that.
So we have someone asking about alternatives, or should we start looking for other options in case DACA is removed, like seeing if we can apply for a particular type of visa?
Great. Yes, definitely. Oh, because DACA was never lawful status. It was never a permanent solution. Even Obama didn't expect it certainly to last this long, because it was sort of intended to just be this 2-year thing. Maybe one time you would renew it because we were going to pass the DREAM Act, right? And now, you know, it's crazy. So yeah, DACA was never supposed to be a lifetime solution. It was just this little Band-Aid thing. So definitely, if you have DACA or if you don't have DACA or you're concerned, you know, if you're in this generation, it is time now to reach out to our office, to an immigration attorney, or to an accredited rep like the UFW Foundation or IMPORTA, and reach out to them and say, hey, what other options? You know, is there something I'm missing here? And the thing that, this is the tricky thing, but what I want to throw down and to kind of explode is a lot of DACA students talk about the United States as the golden cage, la jaula de oro, like this golden cage. You know, you're here. Well, this is the way people talked before Corona and before Trump was elected. Like, it was this wonderful country, and it's great to be here where so many people want to live, but you're kind of trapped here at the same time. And so what I want to have college students and even high school students who may be listening to think about is, what if there were a possibility that you could live in the United States for the rest of your life in status, and you'd have a green card and citizenship, and you could, you know, have a good social and credit and pursue your career as a doctor, as a lawyer, as an engineer, as an artist. But what if I told you in order to get that, you might need to leave this country for 1 year or 3 years? Would you be able to do that? Give up 1 or 2 years now so that you could come back with a visa and come back well. And I'm not saying this is the case for everybody. I'm not saying it's going to help everybody, but there are some people who currently have DACA or who might be able to apply for DACA. But if they think about like their long-term plan, like what they want to accomplish over the course of their life, it's not a good idea to plan on DACA being there for the rest of your life. That's not a life, you know, if you have to live it, you know, we're going to make it work. But if you don't have to, this is a chance to talk to an immigration attorney or to an accredited representative at an immigrant serving nonprofit and say, what other options are there available? And think about maybe finishing your college degree or even a master's degree or getting some work experience in another country, because that might allow you in some cases to come back lawfully to this country and just live the rest of your life here with papers versus staying here a fuerzas, you know, just like hanging in and hoping there'll be some kind of reforma. For some people, there's an opportunity to go and come back well, and then they don't have to worry about the reforma. And what I want to do is have those people go, come back well, vote, and then make sure that reforma happens, right? So if that's your situation, this is a good time to start looking for an attorney or an accredited representative to talk about all of your options, okay? And I know that's another step to think about. Leaving this country means leaving, maybe not coming back here at all to see friends or family for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, but it's an investment in your own future. And so I really want to open that conversation to people.
Okay, so I have a running list because some are coming to me privately. So just know that I'll get to yours. I'm trying to combine some so there's not repetition and go in order. So what other options do I have if I can't work? So I think this is kind of maybe entrepreneurship, ITIN question, start your own business type answer. Is that for Vanessa maybe? If I can't work, what other options do I have?
If you can't work, your other option is school. Marry somebody rich. If you can't work, yeah. So if DACA is ended and you're kind of stuck here, then yes, then the Oxnard College Dream Resource Center, with the support of Immigrants Rising, has a lot of information on what we call the undocu-hustle, and that's like starting your own business. And there are people that we can point to. There are role models of people who have gone down that path before and have started very successful businesses without papers. And that is an option. And we are happy to talk with you and to plug you into those role models and those mentors, if that's the path that works for you. So yes, it's also a time to look at that. But I just have to say, before you even go there, talk to somebody and make sure there isn't a way that you can go and come back. Okay, but if you can't, then yes, there are resources and there is support available to just stay here and hang on. And there are some great success stories.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. I have another question. If I'm a DACA recipient and my children are US born, I'm out of work due to COVID, can I apply for EBT without it affecting my DACA status?
Yeah. Sorry, yes.
Okay, so it's okay. It's not going to count against public charge. It's for my US born children. It's fine.
Public charge is not a question for DACA people. And having food stamps for your kids will never be a public charge issue for you when you apply for your green card. So we're talking about there's public charge, there's food stamps, and there's DACA. And they're not, food stamps for your kids, public charge when I apply for my green card, and DACA, totally unrelated issues.
Thank you.
You can call us or call IMPORTA UFW Foundation for more specific on that if you really want to drill down. Our numbers and information will be posted. That's a good question.
So the next one's for Linda. So I'm trying to unmute you, request. For Linda Martinez, Truax. Okay. Can you speak to, and I know you might have, but there's more questions, some of the mental health, physical health services at Moore Park and Ventura, and then also any mental health resources for high school students.
Okay, so Ventura College and Moore Park College do have mental health services, and it is exactly the same. We are all licensed or associates, meaning that our license is still through the state. And the same thing applies as far as confidentiality, as far as not following your educational file. And that also goes for example, if you were to refer and see like maybe Cal Lutheran's center, or to go to a private clinician, is you can't share information. You're not able to share information. It's your confidential information. Regarding high schools, so high schools also do have supports. They're a little bit different, but there's a lot of agencies that are actually connected to support high school students or K-8 students. For example, high school students that are coming into the college system, that are coming to Oxnard College or one of the surrounding colleges, I would be, again, we want to support our students. We want to support the transition. We want to be available to students. So we can definitely support those incoming students. And again, feel free to reach out to me directly. The phone number was on the slide, or my email address is lmartinez@vcccd.edu, and I'll put it in the chat if you have questions or need referrals or need something specific. If you have a child or yourself or so on are dealing with any conditions as well, there's different supports for individuals with autism. There's different supports through the LGBT community. There's different supports through so many agencies that are working together to help support DACA.
Thank you, Linda.
So Dolores, can I ask that we take maybe one or two more questions? I want to recognize that it's 5:04 p.m. So out of respect for everybody's time, I want to make sure if you want a copy of this presentation through the Zoom recording that we did, I'd be happy to provide it. I just want to make sure everybody knows to email ocdreamcenter@vcccd.edu, or they can contact us directly. We are here as a resource, not just today. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Fidelia, for putting it in the chat for everybody. Any more specific questions? In the past, Vanessa has done consultations for students and their families every other Friday. So we probably cannot resume that until after July, but if that's something that students may be interested in, please, please, please reach out to us, because sometimes she had open slots. Aren't we glad to know these resources are available to us? So if we could take maybe one or two urgent questions or very relevant questions, I want to make sure I don't dismiss anybody, but we are respectful of everybody's time.
So we actually basically have one more. I think it's an easy one. If I arrived here in the US after 2012, even if, say, the DACA program is renewed, would I be able to apply if I arrived after 2012?
No. best we're going to get from this court decision is getting us back to, say, August of 2017. That's the win. And the win is getting us back to August of 2017, when the rule was you had to get here before 2007. You had to have been here since 2007.
Right. So I think someone else asked a very specific question and you answered it in the chat already, Vanessa. So I think that's it. I mean, I just want to make a plug again for Dream Resource Center. We don't provide all of the services, but we'll connect you to them. So if you're wondering anything, just email us. And then I don't know if it was mentioned with the health, physical health, but anyone in the state of California 26 and under can apply for Medi-Cal regardless of immigration status. So just, you know, little plug for that. So Gabby, you want to take it over?
Yes. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to be here. We had over 50 participants. I'm really, really happy, and I hope that you all will share this with at least 3 other people, because there's 3 scenarios that we're currently projecting, and we're rooting for number 2, but we'll see. You know, regardless of the decision, we just want to make sure that you are plugged into the different resources on campus, off campus, in the community, and that you know that you have a village behind you, and that we want to help in any way that we possibly can. So I want to thank everybody once again. Please feel free to email us at ocdreamcenter@vcccd.edu, and we will definitely be in touch. Hopefully, this is something that people want to learn more about, and as we get more information, we'll be sure to reach out to everybody. Keep your eyes open for any new opportunities that we have. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Dream Resource Center.
Thank you.